complete disaster the following season before bouncing back as they have now.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot. It must take a lot out of players, you know, to actually get so near and yet so far, and all of a sudden the spark gone out of them, and it certainly happened to Leyton Orient last season. But all credit to them, you know, as a club and management and players, they've lifted themselves and are making a terrific run of it.
Yeah, well, they're cold out there. Let us go inside the home dressing room at this rather smart-looking stadium. Scotland's undergone a lot of changes in recent times, and it would appear from these shots as though they've got pretty comfortable changing quarters, a lot better than some lower league grounds. Anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice ground now. You don't mind going to places like that. They've done really, really well, and it helps players. It helps everybody, supporters, nice environment, so it's good to play there.
When you see shots like this, Raymond, do you wish you could still put the boots on? And oh, you did in fact last week at Ibrox, of course, didn't you? And scored.
We had a very enjoyable weekend last Sunday. It was very good, very, very, very enjoyable. But you miss it immensely, I've got to say. When you pack up playing, it's a massive body blow, I've got to say. Just that buzz before the game, and it's different class.
Yeah. Well, who's going to win this one?
Score draw for me, Marcus. I think Leyton Orient, they've won 4 away from home, so I think they're quite capable away from home, and they've drawn 4 away as well. So I think it's heading for a score draw personally.
Steve?
Difficult one. Two decent teams, as you said before. They like to play football, both. I'm going to go for an away win.
And from a Blackpool point of view, what would be ideal?
A draw.
Yeah.
A 0-0 draw would be ideal for us.
Well, on behalf of our supporters and viewers, I hope it's not a 0-0 draw. We want plenty of goals, we want entertainment and excitement, and we're guaranteed some fine commentary with Messrs Brian Marwood and Rob Hawthorne.
Thank you. Well, on this weekend of cup commitments, these sides, in the words of the age-old cliché, have only the league to concentrate on. Rochdale fell at the first hurdle of every other competition this season, while Leyton Orient flirted with glory, drawing with Newcastle in the Worthington Cup and only losing to Tottenham in the final minute of their FA Cup tie. But now, past the halfway stage of this season, both are in contention for some long overdue promotion success. Rochdale, occupying a place in this division for the 27th consecutive season, field a starting 11 with an average age of 28. The youngest is 20-year-old Phil Hadland, signed on a free from Reading and making his first league start since the end of October, in the only change to the side beaten by Halifax in their last game. The oldest, at 41, is the evergreen Tony Ford, who made his league debut before Hadland was even born. Their captain is their goalkeeper, Neil Edwards, and the side also includes Gary Flitcroft's younger brother, David, and Tony Ellis, who scored prolifically in the lower leagues for the likes of Preston and Blackpool.
Well, this is a Rochdale side. This is a very organised side. Only conceded 20 goals this season, which is a fantastic achievement, and that's really down to the goalkeeper and this back four. Certainly the 2 centre-halves, Bayliss and Monington, interesting characters. Bayliss, a good tackler, and Monington, well, when he does come up from set pieces, is a real threat and a real danger. Tony Ford, 41-year-old, MBE, absolutely superb, still going strong, will offer width down that right-hand side whenever possible. I expect Flitcroft just to sit in there and allow Gary Jones, who's got 6 goals from midfield, just to really try and join with the front 2 whenever possible. And they've got the youth on that left-hand side. Phil Hadland got a lot of pace, and he'll look to put that to good use down there, and I'm sure that he'll look to get into the final third and provide the quality in for the front 2. And it's a front 2 that has a mixture of experience and youth. Tony Ellis, 36 years old now, and of course scored a lot of goals during his playing career, but loves to get the ball into his feet, twists and turns, good platform to play from. And Clive Platt, well, he's a youngster with 8 goals, he's raw, but he's also got a lot of pace, and I'm sure that Tommy Taylor would have been reminding his defenders of what a threat he can be.
Leyton Orient welcome back their highly rated left-back Matt Lockwood after a knee injury. And in the other change to the side beaten by Southend, their first league defeat at home this season, 18-year-old Brendan McElhone replaces the Croatian Amet Berkovic. It's only the second league game that the Northern Ireland Youth International captain has started this season. The first 11 includes 2 players with brief experience of top-flight football. Number 27, Scott Houghton, from his days at Tottenham, and number 9, Carl Griffiths, who was in the Premiership with Manchester City.
Well, I saw Leyton Orient recently do very well indeed against Tottenham Hotspur. This is a good side also. Again, very well organised, love to get the ball down and play. Outstanding young goalkeeper in Ashley Bays. He's certainly one I'm sure the top clubs will be watching all the time. It's a back four that loves to play, especially the 2 fullbacks. Matty Joseph, who was at Arsenal when I was there many years ago. But Matt Lockwood, left-footer, really has got a terrific delivery on that left-hand side. The two centre-halves are very dominant, very strong, and also very committed. Brendan Meckelholm, well, he's a youngster, come into this side. And speaking to Tommy Taylor beforehand, he really does want his players, his wide players in particular, to get into these sorts of areas, either Meckelholm or Houghton, and provide quality. Now, don't mess about, especially when you've got the two players of Watts and Griffiths up front. But Val Schartz and Harris, very competitive in there. Harris is an excellent player, had a great game against Spurs a few weeks ago. And Carl Griffiths, 15 goals this season. Again, you heard the boys talking in the studio, a real predator. And Steve Watts, who's very much the target man of that particular partnership.
Thankfully, much of the worst of the fog has lifted. It's a shame that the stadium is shrouded in fog, because you're perhaps not seeing it at its best. But it is one of the better facilities in this division. And all credit to Rochdale for their initiative of letting in the under-16s for £1 today. It's actually Rochdale's first game in over 2 weeks. Their fixture with Hull last week was a victim of the weather, but it's not the first match staged here since the defeat against Halifax. In fact, it's the second fixture that'll be staged on the pitch here at Spotland in the space of 24 hours after Rochdale Hornets Rugby League Club were in action here yesterday. Dean Smith is the Leyton Orient captain on the left. The smiling goalkeeper, Ashley Bayes, a real character. One of his big friends is his opposite number here at Rochdale, Neil Edwards, but he's having a laugh and a joke with the referee already. Very loud and effervescent character.
He's got all the ingredients of being a good goalkeeper. He's absolutely crackers.
Well, you need to be something of an eccentric to wear the gloves, and Bayes is certainly that. But he is a very good goalkeeper as well, and there he is talking to his big mate Neil Edwards, who, despite his maybe lack of inches, is still regarded as one of the top stoppers in this division.
Well, I think we've talked about already their defensive record. It's people point straight away to how good the defenders are, but a lot of credit also to the goalkeepers. And in this game, we have got two fine goalkeepers.
Let's go! Come on, Johnny!
Chesterfield and Hull have found their finances under scrutiny. Leyton Orient have come through some difficult times on that front. Rochdale have had to share their ground, but they're a model of financial stability now. And can they add promotion to that?
This item is an original floodlight from Elm Park, dated back to 1955.
With its unique control blade independent rear suspension, the Ford Focus gives you ultimate control. And Ford's clear price policy means you can drive one away from just £10,495.
Do you speak Orange? Today, Orange has interests in 19 countries, covering 450 million people. By 2005, we aim to be in 50 countries worldwide. That and our share offer now on are just part of our Orange print for the future. For a prospectus, call 0800 085 8888 or visit our website. The future's bright. The future's Orange.
Now you can try AOL for absolutely nothing. Just call 0800 237 237 for your completely free trial pack.
27 women never made a man out of me. Everyone that tried it never really could succeed. The 27 women never made a man out of me. You can do it. I hope that you can set me free.
Sorry, mate, I'm on holiday.
With thousands of half-price holidays and free insurance for a year, book with Land Poly and you're already there.
I know what it's like to perform under pressure, in front of fans at the big occasion. But dealing with a situation after a match, when a group of morons are getting physical, causing trouble outside the pub, and you have to disperse them calmly when it might be getting violent. I don't think I can do that.
The NFL showpiece and America's greatest sporting prize. Super Bowl. The Baltimore Ravens face the New York Giants in the ultimate gridiron showdown. Watched by one of the world's largest television audiences. It's sport's biggest show on earth. Super Bowl 35 in association with Blue Square tonight at 10:30 on Sky Sports 1.
That was ugly.
Here's another one of David's little souvenirs, the original crossbar from Elm Park.
Now, at the conclusion of Leyton Orient and Rochdale, we will show you all of yesterday's First Division goals, including extended highlights of Fulham and Birmingham at Craven Cottage. But right now, it's this promotion tussle at the top of the third in the company of Brian Marwood and Rob Hawthorne.
And here's a reliable Ford, despite having plenty of miles on the clock. Tony Ford, already the record holder for the number of league appearances made by an outfield player. He makes his 898th against the club with whom the all-time record holder Peter Shilton finished on 1,005. Ford's already made in excess of 1,000 in all competitions, and now brings his talents to a Rochdale team who'll get this game underway. They're in blue, Leyton Orient in red. And at the back for Rochdale is David Bayliss, who's launching it long for Clive Platt. And Ford immediately gets into the action. The worst of the fog did lift in the half hour before kick-off, but still shrouded a little bit here. Matty Lockwood, who was rated 50-50 for this game earlier in the week because of a knee problem. There's Gary Jones. Well, the flag up for offside, but I wonder if it actually came back off the Rochdale player.
Well, he certainly held a very good line. I think that we've talked again about how well they defended, but once that ball is played, there you can see Todd, he puts his arm up. I think that does enough to convince the referee's assistant.
What was the player flagged offside? That was Steve Watt's header. This is Carl Griffiths, and now Gary Jones. Again, the flag is up.
Obviously got together under the both referees' assistants.
They're just making sure they can see each other. After the experiences of the Notts County officials earlier in the season, Graham Frankland is the referee today, who'll hope that he'll be able to see the flags of both his assistants. This is Joseph. It's Andy Harris, helped on by Griffiths to Watts, cleared by Bayliss. Side who start this game 2 points behind today's opponents, or 2 points ahead of today's opponents. Cleared by Bayliss, and Valshart's coming in to try the shot. He was the man who got the equaliser in the meeting of these clubs just a few weeks ago. This is Platt, now Jones. This is Watts, now McElhone. Joseph. Andy Harris. Monington tries to cut it out. Now Ford. Jones. This is Evans. That was Todd. This is Hadland. Tony Ellis. Hadland has got into the box well. Platt and Ford are both waiting there too. Ford trying to steal a march on this man Lockwood. It's cleared by Howell. This is Valschatz to Harris. Joseph.
Well, it's been very interesting just looking at the setup of both sides and the way that they've really both pushed up towards the halfway line. Really is condensing that space in that midfield area. But both sets of players in that particular area of the field are more than capable of coping with the ball. Good passes of the ball, both Andy Harris in particular for Leyton Orient, Gary Jones and David Flitcroft for Rochdale.
Steve Parkin, the Rochdale manager, doesn't feel they necessarily passed it as well this season as they did last, and yet they've added a more pragmatic side to their game, which has, in some senses, made them more successful.
Well, I think that's an important foundation to start from. I think any manager will tell you that. I know, just listen to Steve McMahon just talking beforehand. He said, if you are frugal at the back and you've got goal scorers, perhaps that's one of the areas where Steve has just missed out a little bit, and where Clive Platt may well be a bonus. Tony Ellis been around a long time. He is a proven goal scorer.
Platt and Ellis have been the regular front two for Rochdale this season, although they will now face a little bit of competition because he's added Kevin Kyle to his squad on loan from Sunderland, and he's on the bench today. This is Matt Lockwood. Now Bayliss, and this is Evans. Lockwood tried to bring it under control, and it worked to Rochdale's favour. That was Ford. This is Platt trying to drive away into the box.
He did well, Lockwood. Really did, because he created a lot of problems for himself, but he managed to redeem himself in the end.
Valschatz. Now Ford. His target is Ellis, who's just got in front of Smith, but it's cleared by McGee. Tony Ford. Away by Smith. Controlled by the arm of Gary Jones. Jones perhaps suffered for being considered a utility player in his early days with Rochdale after his move from Swansea, but he's really settled into the midfield role that Steve Parkin's given him.
Well, I think the way that Orient are playing in the respect of pushing up, it's important for the likes of Gary Jones. He's got 6 goals from midfield this season, Rob, so he clearly does possess an eye for a goal. I think he's got to try and make some runs from deep, because that's an opportunity to break any offside trap.
One of those goals that Jones got was against Leyton Orient in the 1-1 draw. That was from the penalty spot.
Lockwood will be the one, I'm sure, that will want to take this on. I mean, it's a good 25-30 yards, but he really does possess quality with his left foot.
And it has been left to Lockwood to deal with. Trying to get it in towards Smith. When you look for differences between the two teams, they maybe do lack something in terms of height and physical presence, Leyton Orient, compared with their opponents.
Well, I think having watched them before, certainly the two centre-halves, both Smith and McGee, do or can prove a threat from set pieces.
Lockwood has taken it direct this time and hits it into the crowd.
She wasn't far away. I think he'd elected the first one just to try and play in the box. This time, he hasn't taken much of a run-up, which I don't think helped him in particular. But they can't afford to give free kicks in and around the box, because he has got all the quality about him.
Neil Edwards, the Rochdale goalkeeper, a former Welsh under-21 international. Started his career at Leeds, actually, but only ever played one Zenith Cup game for them.
You have had the books out, haven't you, this week?
To get out more. Here's Ford. Flitcroft.
That's a exactly what I was talking about, those runs from midfield. That time it was Flitcroft. We talked about Gary Jones already. Again, Orient also going to have to do that.
Ford's corner. And in the end, it was hit against Steve Watts, who...
They couldn't get it away, could they? But we talked about Monington being the threat. But really, there was some desperate defending in the end. And I think we're just quite happy to try and relieve the pressure, but a little bit messy at times.
Ford with another kick. Monington does go for this one. And isn't very far away.
Well, you can bet your bottom dollar Tommy Taylor would have talked to his players all through the week about what a threat Mark Monington is from set pieces, either corners or free kicks. It's just really put in towards a penalty spot. But he's so dominant, isn't he? He's got 3 defenders around him and he still manages to leap above everybody. It is absolutely fantastic when you've got that sort of threat.
Well, Mark Monington is one of 2 players in the Rochdale team to have played the last time they beat Leyton Orient. Neil Edwards, the goalkeeper, is the other one. And really, Rochdale victories against today's opponents haven't been that regular. Just 3 in 21 meetings, but this is a good start by them. Jones now has found Platt. Ford was free, but couldn't control the ball that Platt delivered to him. And here's Evans. Hadland was turning up in the box. It's Jones, always going away from the target.
Good little spell from Rochdale, but I talked about Ellis being the platform to play from. When that ball has gone into his feet, he's very clever, very astute, plays people into the game, and it was Jones that was making that run from midfield. Steve a little bit disappointed about the final finish, but with the experience of Ellis, if they can get it into his feet and then just play from there, it'll be a big bonus for them.
Tony Ellis scored in a defeat by Leyton Orient here last March, and Rochdale's 3 victories against Orient have all come here, indeed in the last 5 meetings between the clubs here. Well, that looked like a back pass, but nothing given. Steve Watts looked back at the goalkeeper, looked back at the referee. Here's Platt. Ford. Evans with a cross. The player looking to turn, and it's cleared by McGee.
Well, they're going to have to be a little bit careful at the moment, Orient, because they're allowing Tony Ellis a little bit too much time to get the ball into his feet. One of the centre-halves has got to have to look to have a little nibble in there, because he can't be allowed to get the sort of time and room that he's being afforded at the moment.
Here's Platt. Hadland going in to attack it, and it was a crucial header away.
It's a terrific ball into the box from Evans. It really was, had a lot of quality about it. Unfortunately, Rochdale only had one player that was threatening from the cross, and that was Hadland's.
He was the player who dealt with it. This is Scott Hampton now for Leyton Orient. He's done well to drive himself into an advanced position here. Can he take it all the way? Tried to pull it back in the end for Watts.
Good defending, Robert. Really was good defending by David Bayliss, because he just stood and watched the ball. He didn't want to commit himself, and that's exactly what Houghton was looking for him to do. Very highly rated, this youngster, actually. Talking to a few of the staff before the game, and they were talking how well he tackles, how well he defends, and it's always important, isn't it, that the art of defending, when it's been much talked about over the season by many managers.
He's come through the system here. He's only 24, David Bayliss, but he's already the club's longest serving player. More defending for Bayliss to do here against a free kick. That was looking to get there. Evans, though, did. It's Joseph. Now Jones. Couldn't find Ford, and it's knocked through towards Steve Watts. It's Bayliss who had to deal with it once more. Platt with a header on. Cleared by McGee, who's done an impressive job for Tommy Taylor since his release by Brentford when he found himself surplus to Ron Node's requirements. He was actually out of the professional game for a while before volunteering his services to the Leyton Orient manager. It's Ford. Now Platt. This is Ellis turning it on to Phil Hadland. No penalty against Joseph, says the referee.
He's very quick to go down. I think that's a problem by Phil Hadland. Matthew Joseph really just shepherded him very carefully indeed.
It's Bayliss who's brought it clear. Lockwood. Watts.
Well, one of the indicators I always look for is what other players' reactions are to situations like this. And I think that when you looked around at one or two of the Rochdale players, they didn't really have a big belief that that was a genuine penalty claim. I think that Hadlands was just backing into Joseph in the box, but there was some sort of contact, but not enough really to the referee to give a penalty.
Here's Joseph with the throw-in. This is McElhone. A bit short for Joseph, but he dug it out against Todd. Won the free kick.
Well, this will be interesting how they cope with this, because we talked already about the ability of Matthew Lockwood. He's coming over his left foot on this right-hand side, and it is about delivery. And if you've got that sort of quality,
and it is a good delivery, but Edwards adjusts his position to get firmly behind it.
It's too near the goalkeeper. That was the problem. I think it had enough pace on it, but really the attacking players couldn't get anywhere near it.
Rochdale have an enviable defensive record this season. Just 20 goals conceded in the league, which is the best record in their division, and second only to Manchester United in the country. United have conceded 16. They've had a settled back line. Just need their forwards to be a bit more prolific to continue the progress they've already made. This is Hadland, on whom Steve Parkin took something of a flyer, had him on trial after he'd failed to break through in the first team at Reading. Now Todd with the throw. This is Jones. Forward climbing with Lockwood. It's Platt who's emerged with it. That's Flitcroft. Ellis! 1-0! Now one of the most prolific strikers in the lower divisions through the years, Tony Ellis, does it again and gives Rochdale the lead.
Well, this is really good pressing from the home side. It really was, and both midfield players involved in the build-up. It was Jones's ball from this left-hand side, and then it was Flitcroft on the right-hand side that got the ball into Ellis. And I've got to say, as good a leap it is, I really think you've got to question the defending there. McGee is big, he's strong. Ellis is not really prolific from an aerial point of view, but he climbs majestically there and plants a header past Bays, which he has no chance of saving.
Tony Ellis with the goal, and McElhone looking for an instant response. But Ellis has scored goals against Leyton Orient in his time for Stoke, Preston and Blackpool. He scored against them here last March when Steve Parkin's team were already trailing 3-0 and ended up losing 4-1. But he may well have scored against them today in happier circumstances. Can his goal lead to a Rochdale win? Ellis looking to provide this time. Jones not there quickly enough. Smith read it well. Cleared by Lockwood. Flitcroft. And a header back by Dean Smith. Key, the man who was outpowered by Ellis, leading to the goal. Todd waiting patiently for the return of the ball for the throw, and he finds the goal scorer Tony Ellis. Here's Todd. Hadland challenging with Joseph.
Well, Orient really haven't proved themselves an attacking force so far, and I think that'll disappoint their manager Tommy Taylor, because they do possess a lot of quality in their side. They just haven't really been able to get the ball down and play. But full credit to the home side. Rochdale have set about their task extremely well. They've been fairly dominant, created 1 or 2 opportunities, and we've got that all-important first goal.
Wellington, Platt with a header across. Cleared by Joseph. This is Harris. Now Lockwood. Smith. Griffiths. He's worked it through, but McElholm is offside.
Again, a good line by Rochdale, but let's have a little look at the goal again. I just want to highlight the part that the 2 midfield players, both Jones and Flitcroft, play in this. There was Jones when he played the ball in, and then you can see Flitcroft just joining up, links very well with Platt, and as this ball comes into the box, Ellis rises majestically to plant the header past Bays. But we talked earlier about the importance of the midfield and for them to join the front 2 whenever possible, and that highlighted it perfectly.
Now McElholm.
Well, you can see already that Rochdale are beginning to dominate the game, nearly 60% there against Orient's 42, but I think disturbingly for the Orient manager, they haven't really been a threat.
Cleared by Monington to Lockwood. Neither team so far this season has lost league games back-to-back. But for both teams today, that record on the line. Rochdale having lost their last one against Halifax, and Leyton Orient having been beaten by Southend in their last league outing. Here's Platt getting the better of Lockwood. Goal kick.
A lot of good work so far, Clive Platt, but just looking at the Orient side, I think that they're going to have to get the ball into wide areas a little bit more often than they are doing, because Rochdale are defending very well, but as a 4 they've come out very quickly. McElholm on the right-hand side, who is a defender, to be fair to him, but hasn't had too much of the ball, and Houghton on the left-hand side, who does possess a lot of quality, especially when he's running at defenders.
Unfortunate fall on top of the ball by Platt. Griffiths has left it, and Jones arrives before Watts does. Now Flitcroft put Todd under pressure, and McElholm keen and alert, but unable to make the most of it.
Yeah, it's been a bits and pieces type of performance so far from Leyton Orient. I know, speaking to the players, they travelled up very early yesterday morning, actually had a training session yesterday afternoon to prepare for this game. Just haven't got going yet.
Orient did go a goal down to Rochdale in the league meeting last month, and they threw everything at them in the second half. In fact, Tommy Taylor believes they were worth more than the point they eventually managed through Wim Valshart's equaliser, some 15 minutes from the end. This is Griffiths, now Joseph. Harris beaten to it by Jones. Now Ellis. This is Ford. Evans has made a good run into the box. Flitcroft, who provided the opening goal for Ellis. Ford again. Flitcroft. Now Platt. And away by Harris. Watts.
Again, good pressure, good possession by Rochdale. I think Orient are just backing off a little bit, especially in midfield. We haven't seen too much of Balshart or Harris. Harris is normally very busy, very competitive, but he's almost trying to play too deep, and it's allowing the midfield two of Rochdale, Jones and Flitcroft a lot of supremacy in that area.
McGee getting the better of Ellis that time, the reverse of what happened for the goal.
Wasn't blatant enough, was it?
Full-blooded from Flitcroft against Griffiths, who scowled back in his direction. Here's Hadland. McGee. Thrown away from Valshart's. Flitcroft is first to it. This is Ellis. Rochdale are working well to break it up when Leyton Orient have possession.
They are, but I just think it's a little bit too easy at the moment for the front two of Rochdale. We've seen now, what, 5-6 occasions where Ellis has just been allowed that time just to get the ball and turn at defenders and look to thread little through balls. He's got that ability, he's got that quality. But they've linked very well together. I think that's a real mixture, isn't it, of youth and experience.
And age certainly hasn't dulled the goal-scoring instincts of Tony Ellis.
He's a youngster compared to Tony Ford, isn't he?
Griffiths, here's Flitcroft. Here is 41-year-old Tony Ford, MBE.
How many times have you said that in a commentary?
Not often enough. Here's Joseph. Watson's the player pulled over by Bayliss.
Well, that was better, wasn't it? And it was a good run from Matty Joseph. It was positive, and that's what Orient are going to need. Somebody just to really lead the charge. And that is a clear foul. We talked about what a good defender David Bayliss is, but he's given away a necessary free kick. And this is certainly Lockwood territory.
Well, he's hit one close to goal before, Lockwood. Leyton Orient's answer to Tony Ellis in terms of a natural finisher is Carl Griffiths, who looks to disturb the ball. And is going to fall to him here. He's pulled it out for Andy Harris. Cross easily dealt with by Tom. Jones. Hadland, now Flitcroft. Griffiths going in to put a bit of pressure on Edwards, and you're never quite sure on this pitch, which has been sanded in parts because of the fact that the rugby league team played on it less than 24 hours ago, actually.
Just look where they've got to, that part of the pitch. They've played some delightful football to get out of trouble.
Although Platt had pulled it back across, it had gone out first. Goal kick.
Well, that's when that inexperience comes to the fore, really, and I think Clive Platt had done so well to get himself into an area. But, Steve Parkin will be delighted, no doubt, with his team's performance so far. Although he'll be aware that Leyton Orient are a quality side, and I'm sure somewhere in this game they'll have a little spell where they'll trouble them a little bit more than what they have done. See 29% in the attacking third for Rochdale. Not an awful lot as far as Orient going forward, and they certainly haven't troubled Neil Edwards.
Well, Steve Parkin at 35 years age is 6 years Tony Ford's junior, but he had a good record on meagre resources at Mansfield, whom he led to 8th place in the table. And he took Rochdale fairly close to the playoffs in his first full season in charge last year. They finished 10th. actually been hospitalised recently, not to have his moustache removed, but because of a hernia operation, and he's only really been back on the training field this week. So maybe a victory would be the perfect tonic for him. It would certainly help them to leapfrog Leyton Orient.
Well, he's a real competitive character as a player, Steve Parkin, and his side very much epitomised the way he played, and he'd love to get the ball down and pass it around. But they've done it to good effect. That's fine when you've got that sort of confidence to do that, but you've got to be effective in the final third. And Tony Ellis, he found a player in form today when he slotted home what was a very good cross from Flitcroft, but he was the one player that really wanted to attack the ball.
Flitcroft, that's Smith, now Joseph coming under pressure from Hadland, and that pressure means Todd can try and play it back in Hadland's path. Smith, Harris, Monington, in comes Dean Smith, now Matt Lockwood. Griffiths, Watts to his left, McElhone out to his right is offside.
That was a very good line indeed again by Rochdale. They're very well organised, this Rochdale side, and there you can see, just look at the back four, McElhone clearly offside there. I'm not sure what he was complaining about.
Hadland, Jones, Flitcroft. Now forward, Evans has galloped on ahead. This is Tony Ellis. In from Flitcroft, Hadland had arrived well, but it didn't reach him. It's cleared by McGee. It was a heavy collision. Val Sharp's boot making contact with Flitcroft.
Well, I think to be fair to the Belgian, he's only got eyes for the ball there, and Flitcroft very brave, wasn't he? Just attack the ball, trying to keep Leyton Orient under pressure. They've done that very well in this first half.
So bloodied nose for David Flitcroft. And Steve Parkin has a problem not only with Flitcroft but also Mark Monington, who I think was injured in a challenge in the move that led to McElhone being flagged offside.
I think it was his clearance, and hopefully that's not a strain, because he would be a big loss from a defensive point of view and also an attacking point of view, as we've already seen from one of the corners. He attacked and very close with the header, but managed just having a word with his right back Wayne Evans and saying to him, keep this going now. We're playing very well, we've kept the ball well, we've put them under pressure, we're working a little bit harder than them. They haven't really had too many of a sniff at goal.
An encouragement for Parkin in that Monington is okay again, and once Flitcroft has been tidied up, I'm sure he'll be okay to carry on.
We're talking about sniff at goal.
Well, the blood flow has been stemmed, and the free kick for Rochdale sees Ford in attendance, Todd in attendance as well. Griffiths belatedly coming back into the wall, and Todd hits it. Seemed to be a certain amount of encroachment.
Well, it was just a little touch, but Rochdale are having a real problem with the centre-half, Mark Monington. This will be a change that Steve Parkin will be loath to make, but if that is a hamstring strain, you've got to get him off straight away.
Keith Hill is a player of plenty of experience that he can bring on in his place. And Monington does have to make way for Hill, the former Plymouth and Blackburn man, who at 31 is now involved in coaching at the School of Excellence here. It's Ford. Bayliss with a free kick. Joseph, Harris. This is McElhone. Hadland. Ellis. Flitcroft.
And just look at that midfield third, the sort of supremacy that Rochdale are getting, Rob, and that's what Orient can't deal with at the moment.
Orders knocked one in towards Platt, and it's Smith who's got in the way.
Two central midfield players, Flitcroft and Jones, have been just so dominant in there, and Smith, the captain of Orient, and McGee have had a lot of pressure to deal with.
Evans has got it across. Harris in the way this time. And the follow-up from Harris, well wide of the mark. Well, we've got plenty of cup action to come for you later in the AXA-sponsored FA Cup. It's Gillingham against Chelsea, Sky Sports 2 and Sky Sports Extra, with coverage from 3:30. And Stranraer against Celtic in the Tennent Scottish Cup third round tonight from 5:30 on Sky Sports 1. Here in the third division of the Nationwide League, a victory for Rochdale would put them a place and a point ahead of Leyton Orient, and they have a game in hand on them as well as a result of the postponement of their game with Hull last week. Difficult next game to come up for them, away at Cardiff, who are really flying at the top end of the table. Here's Ellis. Combining well with Platt. Jones has got into the box, but Joseph sticks to his guns well.
They did well, Joseph, but once again, it's the example I was talking about. Tony Ellis allowed to turn, to go at defenders, to square them up. And he's good at twisting and turning, getting into dangerous areas.
Todd with the throw. Lee Todd, Flitcroft. Joseph gets away from Hadland, finds Griffiths. McElhone. Foul shots.
Joseph on this right-hand side has probably done as much as anybody in the Orient side to try and get forward.
Player in whom Tommy Taylor has a great deal of faith. He followed the manager indeed from Cambridge, Joseph. Here is again. Cleared by Todd. Now McGee. Away by Flitcroft. This is Smith. And the free kick. Griffiths in there. Watts, who won the kick, going in to join him. Smith and McGee are forward from the back. It's Lockwood who takes it. Headed clear by Evans. Fall quite right for Harris. Just dwelt on it, and that hesitation almost let Jones in. Hill having to try and hold off Griffiths, who pulled him back. And so a difficult introduction for the new man, the substitute, giving away the free kick.
Well, it's almost just a little hopeful ball by Harris, and Griffiths did very well, but they were both at it, weren't they? And the referee's assistant decided to favour the attacker, but there you can see they were both at it. There was a little bit of tugging, but Orient have got the free kick, and again it's in that dangerous area. Again, if Lockwood, who's been a little bit disappointing from those set-piece areas, and Todd getting the yellow card for his part in that, in the sense of dissent, more than being involved in the incident.
It's one of those unnecessary bookings. Lee Todd presumably pointing out to the officials. He felt that Griffiths was As much sinning as sinned against. Lockwood curls in the kick. And it was a really difficult one to deal with, but deal with it they did.
That's a great header from Bayliss, because they did get deep. That was the problem. Once you do get deep, that sort of quality from Lockwood will cause you trouble, and Bayliss did very well indeed just to get the ball away.
Lockwood. Jones, who really has had a very impressive first half. Hadland. Overhit for Platt. Joseph there just in case.
Well, just look how deep Rochdale get here. Fantastic ball into the danger area. Goalkeeper can't come anywhere near it, and Bayliss, it's such an important header because Steve Watts is breathing down his neck.
It's Hill. Now Todd. Jones. Hadland. Away by Smith in fashion. Ellis happy to take the throw in. And gets the award. Leyton with the throw. Platt. Hadland. Ford arriving and Lockwood in the way. Cleared by Harris. Hadland. Joseph put his foot in. McElhoe. Jones. Now Flitcroft. This is Bayliss. Todd has got forward. Joseph in the way. This is Jones. And he's linked up brilliantly with Todd. And he's curled one! At any level, that's a fine finish. And Jones has richly deserved it.
Well, I just wondered whether they would get that second goal because it would provide the comfort zone. There's no surprise it's Gary Jones involved in it. But it takes a slight deflection, to be fair to the Orient goalkeeper base, because he can't get anywhere near it. But there, he's a player that's following up, plays a terrific little 1-2, and that's the little nick off Smith that did the damage, really. But he knew exactly where he wanted to play it. It was measured. It may just have got a little bit of luck off the central defender, but they just can't clear their lines, Leyton Orient. But fantastic foraging initially, because he was the player that was following up from the header from Matthew Joseph, but it was a wonderful, wonderful finish.
Well, a wonderful combination between Gary Jones and Lee Todd. And Jones now registers his 8th goal of the season, his 5th in 8 matches. He really is flying at the moment. Here's Hadland. Flitcroft, Ellis, hopeful one lofted in by Flitcroft this time.
I was talking to one or two of the management staff here who were saying that this boy has been their best player this season, but there you can see the deflection off the skipper, Dean Smith. But I've got to say, they do get lucky, but they've deserved that luck. They've been the best side so far in this first half. They've been dominant in most areas of the field. They've passed the ball around well. They've had a good platform to play off in the shape of Tony Ellis. Well worthy of a 2-goal lead.
Well, Gary Jones made his home league debut against Leyton Orient 3 years ago, 9 days after arriving on a free transfer from Swansea. It's only really since the back end of last season and throughout this that he's made himself an integral part of the Rochdale team. I think, as I mentioned earlier, part of that has been down to the fact that he's established a regular position. Here's a chance for Watts, perhaps. It's come off Bayliss' corner.
It's a good run from Steve Watts. He hasn't had too much to get on the end of so far in this first half. Rochdale have been that dominant.
He comes forward. Beyond the reach of Smith, it's cleared by Flitcroft. Forward comes McElhone, hits it against his own man Smith. Leyton.
Fucking hell!
Away by Ellis.
Well, you can see that Rochdale 5 attempts on goal with 2 goals to show for that, but Orient have been poor really in the attacking third, and as well as the front 2 have tried to work Watts and Griffiths, they haven't had an awful lot to feed off, and that's been Orient's problem.
Watts and Griffiths between them have got 21 goals this season. Griffiths has contributed 15. But he really is a player who relies on the service, Griffiths.
He's a box player, isn't he, Carl Griffiths? I think that you tend not to see him too much involved in general play. That's really down to Steve Watts. Watts is the worker almost in the partnership, but if he does get a chance, more than not, he will take full advantage of that.
Houghton. Lockwood moving up on the left. Watts. And again, Steve Watts. Harris. This is Lockwood.
Good defending again from Rochdale. When Orient have got into wide areas, they've stopped them from getting any quality into the box. I talked about how good Lockwood is, but just look at Tony Ford in the way that he's tracked back against Lockwood. But it'll be disappointing to Tommy Taylor. They haven't played. They haven't shown anything like the form that I've seen them on a couple of occasions this season. They're a lot better than what we're seeing at the moment.
Three additional minutes to play in this first half. 3 minutes before Tommy Taylor can deliver the talk that he hopes will inspire a second half revival from his team, who've faltered recently, taking into account all competitions. 3 defeats in their last 4 games. Watts. Away by Bayliss. David Bayliss, who's been steady at the back, and Rochdale's plan still on course despite the loss of his partner Mark Monington, and Hill replacing the injured player.
Well, that second goal was an important cushion. Even when you're not playing well and you're only 1-0 down, Tommy Taylor could have sorted 1 or 2 things out at half-time, but it just gets a little bit harder when you know you've got to pull 2 goals back.
Lockwood. Houghton. Platt. Deep one from McGee. Hill underneath it. And that's Hadland. Todd. Smith. Harris. And Hadland. Jones. Todd. That was offside. above their rivals this afternoon. Tony Ellis having scored the first, and Gary Jones having given their position a little more comfort with a second goal. And it really is the midfield that's worked hard to produce the lead. It was provided by Flitcroft, the first goal, a lofted cross that Ellis got on the end of and showed his great goal-scoring instincts. And then a well-worked move for the second. Jones curling it in via a deflection after a neat combination with Lee Todd. Can Leyton Orient recover? They did from a 1-goal deficit in the previous meeting, but they're 2-0 down here at half-time.
Once David said to me that Reading had only ever had 4 ball-headed centre-forwards since the war.
Cup football continues on Sky Sports. Gillingham beat Chelsea, the First Division Mavericks. Launch an assault on the greatest domestic cup, with Ranieri tasting the fever. Can holders stir the giant within? Then Stranraer beat Celtic. After last year's shock exit, will O'Neill's magic dispel the ghost, or will the curse of the cup come back to haunt them? A cup double from England and Scotland today from 3:30 on Sky Sports.
It's not my shoe. It's a shoe.
To be a doctor.
I was wondering how long it takes to become a doctor.
5 years undergraduate, 1 year clinical.
6 years. 5 years undergraduate, 1 year clinical.
6 years. Sometimes a dream is worth investing in. Norwich Union helps millions of customers invest.
Mum, Dad, you know I said I wanted to be a doctor?
Yeah.
I really do.
Great.
Together we're stronger. Norwich Union.
With the new Nokia phone, you have things under control. Use the WAP browser to access mobile internet services, do your banking, send email, even buy flowers. Nokia, connecting people.
If you want a proven solution to hair loss, consult a company that gets results. Advanced Hair Studio. And here's the actual proof. Graham Gooch 4 years ago, and today. Proof. Greg Matthews 6 years ago, and today. Proof. John Hartson 12 months ago, and today. Proof. All actual proof. Just ask these guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Call Advanced Hair Studio now.
Need car credit? If you've had CCJs, decrees or defaults, Direct Car Finance can help you, so call them free today. They've got branches all over the country with over 1,000 quality cars, all under 5 years of age, pre-checked and brand new MOTs. And you can part exchange your old car for a minimum of £1,000. Oh, just look at this 98 Mondeo or this 99 Vectra. Lovely. Call now and you can be approved for car credit within an hour. And they don't ask any embarrassing questions. Call Direct Car Finance today, free on 0800 783 2224, and you can be driving away a better car tomorrow. Simple.
Your digestive system. How long have you been in tune?
33 years. 20 years.
Yakult with friendly bacteria, helping well-being for years to come.
Is the new Corsa's fancy technology really as big as Vauxhall claim? Well, here's a big car. Let's compare, shall we? Dynamic safety chassis?
Nope.
Wheels further into corners for extra stability?
Nope.
Speed-sensitive power steering?
I don't think so.
Well, what have you got?
Got a hot tub and a minibar.
Yeah, but you'd never get in the garage, would you?
The all-new Corsa.
the biggest small car we've ever built. Some dreams are worth investing in. Together we're stronger. Norwich Union.
This item is an original floodlight from Elm Park dated back to 1955.
Now, coming up tonight, the biggest event of the American sporting calendar. It is Super Bowl 35, the Baltimore Ravens against the New York Giants. And our exclusive coverage begins at 10:30 on Sky Sports 1. Good excuse for a party into the wee small hours, and Rochdale fans are partying at the moment. The Jones boy has done well for them. And they're firmly in control at half-time in this promotion tussle at the top of the third division. Leyton Orient with an awful lot to do in the second half, as you can see from those match facts. They did very little in the first 45. The one booking, Lee Todd, for a challenge on Carl Griffiths. We'll have another look at that in a moment. The action areas and the possession belong to the home side. The Blackpool manager Steve McMahon is alongside Ray Wilkins today. So far, so good for the Dale.
Yeah, excellent performance, really is. Solid. Again, you can see why they don't concede many goals. Hold a good line, well organised, well drilled, and obviously they've scored two very good goals. They've been by far the better team.
You know Tommy Taylor pretty well. I think you said just now he'll be doing his nut at the moment.
He won't be very happy at half-time, Tommy. And I think quite rightly so as well, because Rochdale have just played him off the field. I've been pleasantly surprised. I don't see, unfortunately, a lot of third division football. But I've got to say the standard that Rochdale have shown especially has been terrific. They've got the ball down, they've tried to play. As Steve said, they're very well organised, and they thoroughly deserved their 2-goal margin.
The first goal scored by a legend in Blackpool, Tony Ellis. You'll be hearing his name even now, won't you?
Yes, he's a goal scorer. We said at the start of the show. He's a clever player. When he goes in the box, he goes on the shoulder. So you can see there's only one winner. Poor defending. I think the defender can actually do a lot more. In terms of putting them off there, but again, ball gets knocked in, and you can see him peeling off. You can see he's anticipating, climbs above him. Great finish.
Flitcroft has a bit of quality. That was a lovely cross.
I think Flitcroft and Jones have showed a real willingness to get forward from the midfield areas, and we'll see from the second goal how well Jones does. But Flitcroft again anticipated the knockdown, got onto the ball, put the ball in, and it was a good header.
Leyton Orient have really struggled in front of goal. One opportunity which came after this foul by Todd on Griffiths. How do you read this situation, Steve?
Well, I was on the opinion that referees can actually delay making a decision until they have to. Now, it's a disadvantage for me now. Instead of he's in a goal scoring opportunity, he's in on goal, and yet he's blew up and give them a free kick. For me, he can wait and wait and wait, and then pull it back if necessary. You know, as it happens, it's a magnificent ball in, and someone should have got on the end of that.
I think the linesman was just a bit too rash. I think the referee is, when the linesman raises his flag, I'm sure that the referee thinks it's for a foul by Griffiths on Todd. But if the linesman allows it to go another 5 seconds, then there's no problem at all.
Well, the second goal just before half-time, another touch of quality from Gary Jones, who's popped up more than once this season to score. And I know, Steve, you're particularly impressed with the industry which went into the creation.
Well, Jones, you see how the picture there, Jones anticipates it very, very well. Gets the second ball and plays a lovely wall pass off the striker, and bends a great ball in there. You know, that's a great goal, and it typified Rochdale's performance. They won all the second balls, them two midfield players, and that's why they've won the game today for me. Is them two midfield players have got second balls, and they've made things happen.
Slight deflection off Dean Smith here.
But I don't think he can take anything away from it. It's a good finish. He knew what he was doing, and he's gone for the corner.
And in terms of the game, that could be a killer blow. Rochdale have only conceded 12 at home all season, and now Orient need 3 in 45 minutes. It's asking a lot, isn't it?
It's asking a hell of a lot, especially the way they've played in the first half. You know, at the moment, you'd have to sit here and say we wouldn't give them a prayer of coming back, but football has thrown up funnier things in your face.
Absolutely. So, 2-0 at half-time. The vociferous Rochdale crowd have enjoyed themselves. We've heard some good old-fashioned chants in the first 45 minutes. Join us again shortly.
Here's another one of David's little souvenirs, the original crossbar from Elm Park.
I won't laugh at you when you boo-hoo-hoo,
The Digit has always helped us to get out and about. Not always unaided, of course. It has always shown us the way. And now it can show you so much more. With the help of Going Places on Open, you can look up holidays, actually see where you're going, and get great value deals. Open. How very useful.
Just press the button.
You can't control the weather. If it wants to be dull and grey, and it invariably does, then that's what you get. Food? Now that's a different animal. It's up to you. Go wild in the kitchen. Make it bright, spicy, cool, and ooh, so deliciously sexy. Use your noodle. Unset the menu. Sharwoods. Stir up some passion.
1 minute, life can be fine. Then out of the blue, an accident can spoil it. If you've been injured in the last 3 years, phone Claimline, the personal injury specialists. With Claimline, there are no costs and no fees. You receive 100% of your settlement. You can't lose. Claimline's friendly and personal service will quickly help get your life back to normal. What's more, we could even pay out-of-pocket expenses before your case is settled, so you can sit back and relax. Make your first call your only call. Call Claimline now on 0800 783 8000. That's 0800 783 8000. Claimline, your call for help.
I just love cars. Take this baby. Alloys, aircon, top-of-the-range stereo, fully loaded. Or this. It's got to be worth at least 30k. No good to me, though. Out of my range, if you know what I mean. Now, this is my sort of car. No alarm, no immobiliser, no steering wheel lock. No problem.
Make your car more secure. Don't give them an easy ride.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
This one looks tricky, Karen.
It'll be okay.
You know there's a new lot who can get you in around 35 minutes.
Yeah, that's my lot, actually.
He looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's from Direct Line Rescue, so he's not a cowboy. He's the cavalry.
Very good.
Yeah, they are.
Direct Line Rescue. Now that's what you call a breakdown service.
My name is Martin.
Hello, Martin.
I have been to the edge. There's toppings at the edge. Loads of toppings piled really high on a thin, crisp base. And do you know the best thing? There's no outer crust. Just chunky, tangy toppings that go all the way. When I'm at the edge, I feel like I'm king of the world. I'm Mr. Invincible. Yeah!
The Edge from Pizza Hut. Have you been to the Edge?
Right, while he's nipped off to the little boys' room, I'm going to tell you about these Polo Super Mints. 4 times as strong as normal Polos.
They freshen up your gob a treat. So much so, in fact, that a full-on snog might be on the cards. Just as long as Milado doesn't find out.
What are you doing here?
And nice to see you, too.
I'm sorry, it's just that I didn't expect you, that's all.
So I see. I hope you've hidden your secret lover away.
For just how long?
Keeping the baby Ray.
Can the secret lover...
What's been happening while I've been away?
Stay a secret. A new episode of Dream Team, tonight at 7 on Sky 1.
David said to me, Reading had only ever had 4 ball-headed centre forwards since the war.
A lot more live football to come this afternoon here on Sky Sports. FA Cup Day, of course, the 4th round tie from the Priestfield. It's Gillingham looking for revenge against Chelsea. 3:30 Sky Sports 2, and interactive for Sky Digital viewers on Sky Sports Extra. Scottish Cup 3rd round action. It's Stranraer looking to cause a major upset against Celtic. That's from 5:30 on Sky Sports 1. And from 6:30 on Sky Sports 3, La Liga, Valencia and the inform Real Madrid. But we're concentrating on events at Spotland, where at half-time in this 3rd Division promotion encounter, Rochdale lead Leyton Orient by 2-0. And Ray, I suppose the Londoners have just got to go for it all out second half.
Well, they have, and I think that's what Tommy would be telling them. The first thing at any level that you've got to have, Mark, is a willingness to go out and have a work, and work for your teammates. And they've just not shown that in the first half, Leyton Orient. I'm sure Tommy would have told them as well during the break. But if they get that side right, then you can go on and have a game of football.
I hear that Tate and Brokovich are coming on for Leyton Orient. Houghton and McElholm are going off, so he's decided to shuffle the pack. And there's confirmation of those changes. I wonder if they'll make a difference. You wouldn't have thought so, looking at the way Rochdale have played so far this season and this afternoon.
No, I think they will make a difference to the way Orient played. They've got to. They might not claw the 2 goals back, but they've got to make a difference. They've got to freshen it up a bit more enthusiasm. And they've got to be careful, really, Rochdale. They don't get a little bit complacent. You know, they will have a rocket, as Ray says, at half-time. They should come out with a bit of fire in the belly. But Rochdale got to be careful. The high line they're holding, they don't get caught.
OK, don't forget, later in the programme we will show you yesterday's First Division goals, including extended highlights of Fulham and Birmingham at Craven Cottage. But settle back and enjoy the second half here with Brian Marwood and Rob Hawthorne.
So Tommy Taylor has made his changes, but will it bring about a change in the way that Leyton Orient approach this second half, as they will get it underway? Tommy Taylor bringing on the Croatian Burkovic and Chris Tate, who came from Scarborough earlier this season. 2-0 down. And the last game against Southend was only the second time they'd failed to score in the league this season. And it certainly looks a more positive outlook at the start of the second half.
Well, Tommy's decided to go 4-3-3. You know, he's got nothing to lose now. 2-0 down. Tate will go and join Watson, Griffiths up front, and Burkovic will play in there with Valsharts and Harris. So change of formation. They can't allow the dominance that Rochdale had in the middle of the field, that's for sure, because Flitcroft and Jones, as we talked about and the boys talked about at half-time, were just totally dominated.
Here's Griffiths, and he's won the free kick. Would be just the tonic that Leyton Orient need, and Lockwood has curled across the free kick in the direction of McGee, but Platt wise to it. Joseph lets it run. Cleared by Hill. It was Harris. Knock-on was by Watts. Watts going in to challenge Neil Edwards, who's Rochdale's captain. Unusual these days to see a goalkeeper as captain. It's Griffiths. Away by Evans.
I think Rochdale have to be a little bit careful. I mean, there's the Orient fans have come in some good numbers. Certainly brought 1 or 2 pieces of equipment with them as well. Driving us potty below us.
Yes, the second half sponsored by paracetamol. Here is Hadland. And he's managed to work it through. Ellis has got 1 goal already. Denied another one by Bays. But the follow-up is in, and it's Hadland who's got it. His second of the season, Rochdale's 3rd of the game, and the perfect start to the second half.
Well, we talked about the pace of Hadland before the game. He doesn't get it wide, he actually gets it right down the middle, and he just knows one thing in his mind, and that's to attack the heart of this Orient defence. Plays a superb ball into Ellis, and he does get lucky, to be fair, because they manage to just try and clear the danger, which is a wonderful save from Bays. But Hadland, when he gets a second chance, well, he doesn't make any mistake whatsoever. Excellent first touch, clinical finishing, 3-0 to Rochdale, justly deserved.
Bays managed to repel the first effort from Ellis, but he could do nothing about the follow-up. And that goal from Phil Hadland puts Rochdale very much in the comfort zone. They can almost afford that spell of complacency now. So much for the best laid plans of Leyton Orient. Tommy Taylor hoping to engineer a revival with those 2 second-half substitutions, and they haven't been able to get into the game before Hadland has possibly finished them off.
It was an excellent finish, and he deserved that, because he worked so hard to create the opening for initially Ellis, and now it becomes a damage limitation. 3-0 down, having major changes at half-time. Change your formation, you go for a little bit more of an attacking presence with your 3 strikers, your 3 players in midfield, but now at 3-0, could be staring quite a comprehensive defeat.
And it's silenced everyone, including the drummer.
And we'll be complaining too much, will we?
Lockwood gets on with things from the free kick. Berkovic getting it across, but Edwards, good safe handling, gets it away to Hadland's score of the third goal. And he really is away from Harris, who's desperately trying to make up ground against him. Knocks him out of his stride, but the referee played a good advantage. Smith, though, deals with a cross.
It was an excellent advantage. The problem is, when you play with three midfield players, Rob, is that if the opposing side get the ball into wide areas, it really will exploit the lack of numbers. And that's what Orient are beginning to experience at the moment. Hadland's got a lot of pace, but in the first half, because McElholm was just almost sitting in front of Joseph, it was offering the Orient right-back some protection. Now he hasn't got that.
Jones. It's Bayliss who's played it through. And Joseph is covering, but he's in real danger there against Todd. Good cool defending by Bayliss.
Well, they've looked an excellent outfit this afternoon, Rochdale, I've got to say. I've seen Orient a couple of times this season. They have been impressive. You don't get to fourth in this division with being a poor side, but Rochdale, every department, they've looked strong, they've looked organised, some good players within the unit, and they've played some excellent football here this afternoon.
Jones. Now Todd. Hadland. Todd again. Smith. Leyton with a throw.
Steve will be absolutely delighted, because I'm sure that he would have been telling his players at half-time, you've played very well indeed, but you know Orient, just a few yards away from you, are going to be getting a mighty bollocking from their manager, and they'll come out all guns blazing. Well, they certainly took the sting out of that.
Here's Ford. Evans. Now Watts. Harris. And, well, the flag has stayed down. Berkovic was one of two players there who looked to be offside.
Well, the referee's assistant's just had probably the worst 2 minutes of his life. Not only has he failed to give the offside, he's took a massive tumble right in front of the Rochdale fans.
Flitcroft. Platt. Ellis. Now Lockwood. And steps Hill. Todd. Harris. Again, it's Jones who's in there so quickly. Hadland. Jones again. Todd. Ellis. Crosses in towards Platt. Good save by Bays.
What a great header that was, but again, some wonderful approach play from Rochdale. Ellis's cross, but just really look at the header from Platt. It was wonderful. He hasn't really got too much of a chance to get a huge amount of power, but he's gone for accuracy.
It's Ford who's crossed this time, and it's away by Tate. Leyton. He's got himself into difficulties there, and it's Tate who's emerged with it. Now Griffiths. Berkovic wanted it played early. Griffiths goes for goal, and then Balsharts lifts it over.
It was a good break from Orient, and Tommy Taylor will be now looking for what sort of character his side are going to possess now. He'll be thinking of many permutations now. Does he try and still get back into it, or is it a case of 3-0 down, let's not make it any more.
Yes, again, it was the energy and industry of Gary Jones that started the move that led to that last opportunity for Platt, and the Rochdale midfield has been a very impressive unit this afternoon. It's Todd, Hill, Hadland, and McGee. Griffiths, away by Bates. Smith.
Good defending again, Rob. They're very dominant, aren't they, Rochdale? They don't certainly look to just pick up little bits and pieces. They're quite prepared to go for the initial ball. Just look at the way they're working hard. They might be 3-0 up in this game, but they ain't coasting.
Todd. Hadland. Rochdale over the years have been the perennial non-movers of English football. The 27th year in this division, the longest unbroken spell of any occupant in what we now call the third division was the old fourth division. 6 applications for re-election in their time. Only Crewe and Hartlepool had that indignity on more occasions. Platt there cutting inside and hitting it wide.
It's not a bad effort. The youngster's done very well today. He's strong and he loves to attack at defenders. But he doesn't manage to hit the target, but it's a little unusual because they have been a real threat, Rochdale, when they've got in the last third. Excellent play for Nice. Look at the way he held that ball up. Wonderful experience.
Sliced behind by Todd.
Well, I think it's always important if you've got a front two that's capable of holding the ball up, because what it does, it allows your midfield players to support and join in, and Tony Ellis has done that to great effect. Platt's also had a very good game. He's worked hard. He's put the two centre-halves, Smith and McGee, under a lot of pressure, and it's worked to their advantage.
Tate there is flagged offside.
He's regained his feet now, the referee's assistant. If you had a camera behind him, it might just be a different story. That kit doesn't look as clean from behind as it does from the front, believe me.
Not going to show us, is he? McGee. That pass was by Hill. Ford. Now Lockwood. Platt with Ellis in the middle. Flitcroft looking to join him. Platt did well, and McGee slices it away uncomfortably. Flitcroft gets in there. Now Platt, and away by Harris. This is Berkovic, who too often hasn't reproduced his training field form in matches for Leyton Orient this season. Played through towards Tate, but Edwards had anticipated it well.
Well, just a couple of opportunities there that Rochdale have come out quite quickly, but could quite easily have been caught in behind, but very much in a similar vein to the first 45 minutes. Rochdale round about the 60% mark in possession.
Helped on by Griffiths. This is Watts. Good defending by David Flitcroft.
It's one of the central midfield players again. They have set the tone for their team's performance. And as a former central midfield player, their manager will be absolutely delighted with the form of both Flitcroft and Jones. They seem to have been everywhere today. from a defensive point of view, also from an attacking point of view. Jones has got his goal, he's had a hand in a couple as well. Flitcroft has also been very prominent.
A bad player either in his time, was he, Steve Parkin? Over 250 league games for Stoke and West Brom, and ended up at Mansfield where he took on the management mantle. And he was an England under-21 player in his day, playing alongside the likes of Paul Gascoigne. Here's Flitcroft. And McGee just shielding it from Ellis. Flitcroft. Griffiths will look to get on the end of it. Now that he control that with his arm. Doesn't matter in the end anyway, as Bayliss gets it clear. Nice touch from Ellis. This is Platt. Tony Ford. Away by Smith. This is Valschatz. Tate. Griffiths. It's too short, and Hadland initially took advantage. Given away by Griffiths, but Ford didn't make the most of it.
Well, the better ball and Ellis was in, but the game is very open indeed, and I guess Orient have to make it that way. Got a real uphill task ahead of them, but they look better from an attacking point of view, but they also look extremely vulnerable when Rochdale do get the ball down and attack them.
Ellis, Jones. Platt in the area as Jones takes a fall, but all the referee points for is a corner.
Well, Matthew Joseph did well. Just having a smile with the referee there, but again, Jones making that run from midfield, joining up with the front two. He has had an outstanding game this afternoon.
Corners, which Ford regularly takes, and delivers this one as well in towards Platt. Griffiths. Valschatz. Now Lockwood. Berkovic was calling for it, well anticipated by Tom.
Oh, it was great defending, but that's the threat they possess because they've got that extra attacker with the three of them lined up in the fashion that they are, Leyton Orient.
Harris. Away by Hill. The drummer clearly senses that something might be happening for Leyton Orient.
Yeah, get the Nurofen out again.
Deep one from Lockwood.
If he knows any more tunes. Can you play far away?
It's Ahmed Berkovic. He's coming through and try and launch one. Well blocked though by Bayliss.
There's another player that's had a very good game this afternoon. Been quite impressed with David Bayliss. He's 24, you were saying, he's a very good prospect.
Laid off by Watts, and it's offside. Griffiths.
I'm not sure whether he was, you know. I'm not sure whether he was, because looking at Lee Todd's position, the left back, as this ball came to him, Griffiths, just look at Lee Todd at the far top of our picture. He's onside. He is onside. It's our mate again, isn't it?
Still concussed from his earlier fall. This is Joseph. Todd. Going away to Flitcroft, now forward. And this time Ellis is offside.
He wanted a better ball, didn't he? You'd expect Tony Ford, with his experience, just to slot the ball down the side of one of the centre halves, rather trying to play a little difficult ball.
Evans. Now Joseph. Griffiths dispossessed by Todd. This is Flitcroft. Now forward. Platt. Managed to turn away from Smith, only to find Harris there.
He's unlucky, but just lost a little bit of momentum. I think Rochdale, they clearly know now they're in the driving seat. Scored the 3 goals. And the important one just after half-time. Just lost a little bit of momentum.
Harris. Berkovic, and Griffiths again is flagged offside.
Oh, there's another close one, but he's late on the goalkeeper as well. Going to get that line absolutely spot on.
Todd. Tony Ellis, now Hadland. Harris. Tate. Hill, Hadland, Platt, away from Smith, but Lockwood is back there covering. Ford offering support. This is Flitcroft. Ellis. And there to attack it for Rochdale.
It was a great shame because Jones had made a terrific run. He just wanted Ellis just to slot him in.
Smith. Now Lockwood. This time Watts is offside.
Not a lot to do, isn't he? The referee's assistant in this second half, but with Orient playing with 3 strikers and Rochdale looking to push out whenever they possibly can. 1 or 2 marginal decisions.
Rochdale looking comfortable for the win now, and if they do manage it, it'll be the first time they've beaten any of the 4 teams above them in the league table, as the table stood this morning. Previously drawn with Leyton Orient, as they have done with Chesterfield and Cardiff as well, lost to Brighton. And they've got Cardiff coming up again in their next game. This will be a healthy boost for their confidence. Away by Joseph from another Gary Jones cross. Now Watts. Griffiths up ahead, having to try and time his run to stay onside this time. And Evans gets it back off the referee.
And again, pushing very quickly out. Watts had it all to do himself.
Flitcroft. Wayne Evans. Now Platt. Evans telling Platt exactly where he wanted it and getting the delivery. Back to Platt. Oh, well, the angle was tight and Bays had to move across swiftly to react.
I'm not sure whether Clive Platt would tell you that's a cross or a shot, but wonderful build-up again. This is a measured ball into his striking partner. He's looking to link up, almost wants it a little bit further in field, but it's the tightest of angles. I think that's actually a cross that very nearly crept in.
Second time that Ashley has frustrated Clive Platt's attempts to join his strike partner on the score sheet. He's forward with the cross this time. Bayliss was coming forward. Jones launching one.
His eyes must have got as big as saucers there when he saw that ball. up in the air. It's inviting him to come from the edge of the box. As this initial corner is headed out, there you can see. Oh, he must have fancied that, you know.
The reality, though, didn't quite match the fiction.
I think we'll forgive him for that one, because he has had an exceptional game.
It's Todd. Bayliss. And away by Todd. That was a few yards offside. Here's Lockwood. Takes layoff. This is Watts. Away by Hill. Berkovic. Tate.
This is not a bad spell for Orient, but the fact that they are 3-0 down is really a lot for mainly their first half performance. They have been better in the second half, and we have responded, no doubt, to one or two harsh words said by Tommy Taylor during the interval, but with that goal coming just after half-time to make it 3-0, it's virtually an impossible task.
Well, Leyton Orient were playoff finalists 2 years ago, losing to Scunthorpe last year. In stark contrast to that was a battle against relegation. Back at the top end this year, but Ellis's cross is claimed by Ashley Bays. They're going through that period that I suppose any team expects to experience, and they're hoping that a blip doesn't snowball into a crisis. Rochdale, who've lost only 4 times in the league this season, twice here, including the last game against Halifax. Well and truly on course to get back on the straight and narrow. It's McGee, Harris, beyond the reach of Balsharts.
It's been frustrating, hasn't it, for Carl Griffiths? He's hasn't had too many opportunities to show the type of quality that he's capable of. 15 goals this season.
Lockwood, charged down by Ford. Leyton Orient were unbeaten in their last 3 games on the road before this one. A run that's about to come to a crushing end, it would seem. And Tommy Taylor has certainly experienced the ups and downs of life since he was at Leyton Orient. Just a few months after that Wembley defeat by Scunthorpe, a lot of fans were calling for his head. In the end, they were 13 points clear of relegation and finished 19th. He's changed the team around again this year. McGee just holding off Ellis, conceding the throw. Was by Flitcroft, cleared to Watts. Wayne Evans, who's not missed a league game since leaving Walsall last July to move to Rochdale with a throw-in. Hill. now Jones. Platt has given away the free kick. He's tugging back at Dean Smith there.
Yeah, it's a correct decision. Dean Smith just getting caught one-on-one with Clive Platt, but again, further substitutions being contemplated.
Ellis. Ford. This is Flitcroft. Wayne Evans. It's Bayliss. Just bearing down on Smith. Griffiths. Here's Joseph. Flitcroft. Platt. Hill. Jones. Running out of space, and Berkovic works it through to Tate. Clear in the end by Hill. This is Jones. Now Ford. Flitcroft.
Just got to keep possession a little bit better, Rochdale, at the moment. Orient have been game in this second half.
Healthy lead that Rochdale are protecting, and their defensive organisation has been very impressive. The assistant referee plenty of work to do, mind you. A couple of changes being made here. Phil Hadland is going off. Michael Oliver and Kevin Kyle are the two players who are set to come on here. Oliver, who was part of Darlington's playoff final team last year, and big Kevin Kyle, who only joined up yesterday. He's on loan from Sunderland. Clive Platt joining Hadland on the sidelines. Kyle here is on a month's loan from Stranraer originally. He'll be taking a keen interest in the cup tie against Celtic later, I'm sure. More importantly, before that, he has his debut to mark out here. He had a loan spell at Huddersfield earlier in the season. I actually saw him in a live Sky match against Wimbledon, and he's also had a loan spell at Darlington. And a change also being made here at this late stage by Leyton Orient. Steve Watts going off and Simon Downer coming on to replace him. So with 13 minutes to go and your team 3-0 up, not a bad time to make your debut for Carl. Suddenly joined the attack since Downer's introduction.
Well, again, the referee's assistant's got it wrong for me, that Griffiths may well have been offside, but Lockwood isn't. And as this ball's played, Griffiths is offside, but Lockwood here is clearly onside.
Here's Ellis. Kyle and Oliver are both waiting in the middle. And that's gone behind for the goal kick. And you mentioned damage limitation for Leyton Orient, Brian, but they now seem to be sticking 3 up front, and McGee has pushed from defence to attack to join Tate and Griffiths.
Well, it's almost 4 up front. I think that McGee has become a central figure now up front. Valchart has pushed on that right-hand side. I think that they are still trying to get something from this football match. And great credit to them.
Griffiths looking to get in here and tripped over after his duel with Keith Hill. And to put Leyton Orient in a position of some promise. Now, can they strike a first goal back just to increase the nerves of Rochdale. Berkovic, though, is being forced back by Flitcroft's determination. And Kyle showing plenty of determination too against Joseph. Now Downer. Jones. Hardly put a foot wrong all afternoon. He's found Todd. Oliver. Away by Smith. This is Lockwood. Flitcroft. Bayliss' free kick by Downer. Oliver. Jones. Oliver again. Harris. Forward. Given away. Griffiths then returning the compliment. It's a bit scrappy for the final 10 minutes. Oliver. Kyle. Now Joseph. Lockwood. Well in by Evans. Kyle having to try and hold off Smith. Evans again. Kyle. Trying to play it through to Michael Oliver. Al Sharpslow got back. This is Chris Tate. McGee out to his right. Griffiths has made the move through the middle. Offside again.
Yeah, again, a good line from Rochdale, and times it works for you, times it's worked against you, but as this ball is played, you can see Griffiths there in an advanced position, in behind the back four, in an offside position.
But as it turns out, the referee had actually blown for a free kick before the pass was made. So Orient still attacking, and Lockwood taking a real gamble from that sort of range. Still some FA Cup action to come for you later in the form of Gillingham against Chelsea in the 4th round. Gillingham looking to avenge the heavy defeat they suffered against Chelsea in the same competition last season. Sky Sports 2 and Sky Sports Extra from 3:30. And in the Scottish Cup, we'll be bringing you Stranraer against Celtic from the 3rd round tonight. Sky Sports 1, our coverage begins at 5:30. Here's Dean Smith. Berkovic. And look at this for a gamble from Edwards incoming, and he's fallen under the challenge from McGee, and as Griffiths lofts it back in, it wouldn't have counted anyway. It was judged a foul on the goalkeeper. Or was it judged a foul by the goalkeeper?
Oh, it's certainly gone the advantage to the home side, which is a little bit strange for me, because it's just an honest challenge here from McGee. Really, the referee has seen that he had his left foot up, and I think that's really where it's done the damage, but I don't think he really realised the goalkeeper was as far out of his goal. He made the decision to come very early, didn't he, Neil Edwards? And I think that I guess you have to be on your toes as a goalkeeper when your back four is pushing as far up the field as this Rochdale side do.
Griffiths. This is Lockwood. Bayliss stretching to clear. Berkovic. Ellis. And now Kyle. Can he get the best better of Simon Downer. Defender did well.
I think Kyle just took a stumble against the defender. Downer stood very strong indeed, which was important.
Feel sorry for Downer in some ways. He came onto the field when Leyton Orient were on one, and he's given a reasonable account of himself in that time since he came up against Kevin Kyle.
Well, they've almost gone with 3 defenders now, Orient, and it was a brave decision, wasn't it, from Tommy Taylor? Just keep plugging away, see whether we can get a goal.
Look how high the Rochdale line is again. As Lockwood uses the width and gets his cross in too close to the goalkeeper.
That's a disappointing cross from Matthew Lockwood, but I would have liked to have seen him get down this left-hand side a little bit more than he has done in this game. It's been difficult for him because Orient, for most of this game, have been on the back foot.
McGee. This is Tony Ford.
10 attempts on goal from the home side, 3 goals to show for it. Orient will be a bit disappointed that they've only had 3 opportunities and they haven't hit the target with any of them.
Ball is from Berkovic. Evans has to deal with it. He was right in between Griffiths and McGee there, but he gets it away comfortably. Oliver. Back well by Berkovic. And Griffiths again offside.
Again, it's very, very marginal. Just look at Bayliss, the centre-half, as that ball's played. He is just fractionally offside, but the referee's assistant on that far side in our picture at the moment has had a lot of those make-or-break decisions to give. It's 12 times caught offside Leyton Orient, and that really is because Rochdale have pushed up as far as they have done, and they've looked very organised at the back.
And all credit to them that the early loss of Mark Monington through injury didn't upset their plans. Hill has settled in well alongside Bayliss, and Bayliss has been another impressive figure in an all-round impressive performance.
Yeah, I think he's a very good player, David Bayliss. The first time I've seen him, but he tackles extremely well. That's what I'd heard about him beforehand, but he's looked fairly composed as well when he's been on the ball.
Well, that's a mistake by Bays. He's given it straight to Kyle, and then redeems himself.
Well, it's not often Ashley Bays has made a mistake. He hasn't had an awful lot of opportunities to make saves this afternoon because the finishing has been so good from Rochdale. Very nearly got himself into trouble, really. It's a bit difficult, isn't it, for goalkeepers at times with this back pass rule. If it's not played to perfection, and you have to adjust in the way that Bays did there, give yourself a few palpitations.
Smith. Flitcroft. Griffiths. Smith.
Gary Jones, today's man of the match. I think richly deserved his overall play. I think he set the tone for his side's performance with the way that he's closed down alongside his midfield player and partner David Flitcroft, but the way also he's got forward and complemented the front two. Excellent goal. A hand in another one.
Gary Jones then the nationwide man of the match. There are a few candidates to select from. Evans with a kick. Flitcroft. Ellis penalised as he held off Joseph. Here's Valchance. Harris. Smith. Berkovic. McGee suddenly finding a bit of space. Can't find the goal.
Well, it was a good chance, and he'll be disappointed not to hit the target. It's a wonderful pass from Smith, wasn't it, out wide to Berkovic. But it was the right-back Wayne Evans that played McGee onside. He wasn't going to take any chances in that area of the field, but McGee couldn't really trouble the goalkeeper, Neil Edwards.
McGee. Tate. Berkovic. Lining it up for Smith. And he's got one. For the 5th time in 4 seasons, Dean Smith scores against Rochdale. It may be no more than a consolation, but at least it brings a bit of pride back for Leyton Orient.
Well, we've seen some good goals, but that's as good a finish as we have seen from the centre-half. And it was really about composure. He doesn't really look to thrash it. He goes for accuracy, and he's absolutely spot on, because that's flown past Neil Edwards into the top corner. And it is as good a finish as we have seen all through the afternoon.
His 3rd goal of the season, and the 3rd time in as many visits that he scored here at Spotland. Berkovic, who played a big part in the build-up with his move in field, is injured. Leyton Orient's pride may be hurt, but at least they've restored a little bit of that by pulling one back. It's the 21st league goal that Rochdale have conceded this season. Never looked like happening. So that was just about their first shot on target.
Well, they deserve a lot of credit, Rob, because they found themselves 3-0 down, but they've had a go. They haven't just sat back, and I wondered how they would approach this match when that 3rd goal went in so quickly after half-time. But all credit to Tommy Taylor. He decided to go for it in the best possible way, and they pushed men forward. At times they played almost with 4 strikers.
Here's Ellis, who started the goal scoring off. Cleared by Downer. Smith.
I wonder whether Tommy Taylor will be asking 1 or 2 questions of why it's took them such a long time to get going in this football match, because they do possess a lot of quality, and make no mistakes about it. They'll be there or thereabouts come the end of the season.
Tate. On its way through, took some of the sting out of it. Playing additional time to the stoppage time that was indicated now as Edwards launches another one. Ellis. Jones. And Rochdale have got 3 points and 3 goals against their rivals, and they now move a place and a point ahead of Leyton Orient. Tony Ellis and Gary Jones, the man of the match, had given Rochdale a 2-goal advantage before the break. Despite 2 changes at half-time by Leyton Orient, within a couple of minutes they found themselves 3 down when Phil Hadland got the 3rd. And despite a late consolation goal from Dean Smith, at the end of the day it was a defeat for Leyton Orient, who worked hard to try and get back into the game and were very positive to the end, but only managed that 1 shot on target from which Smith scored. So it's finished here at Spotland. Rochdale 3, Leyton Orient 1.
Rob Bryan, thank you very much indeed. Now, there is a lot more still to come today on Sky Sports 1 now. Live Euro Tour golf from day 4 of the South African Open. At 5:30, live football from the third round of the Scottish Cup as Stranraer take on Celtic. Goals on Sunday is at 9 o'clock this week. And live coverage of Super Bowl 35 starts at 10:30. Here on Sky Sports 2 at 3:30, live football from the 4th round of the FA Cup as Gillingham take on Chelsea. And at 7, there's live US Tour golf from day 4 of the Phoenix Open. On Sky Sports 3 this afternoon from 3, the World Cricket Centre, highlights of the one-day international between Australia and Zimbabwe. And at 6:30, there is live Spanish football, Valencia against Real Madrid. And a reminder to Sky Digital viewers, there's interactive coverage of Gillingham against Chelsea on Sky Sports Extra. That is Sky Digital Channel 404. Well, after the break here, reaction from Scotland, where Rochdale was spot on against Leyton Orient. Plus, yesterday's First Division goals, including a humdinger from Kevin Donovan to buoy the Mariners.
This item is an original floodlight from Elm Park dated back to 1955.
That's an airplane. I wonder how long it's been here.
Look at this!
It's a police matter now.
What if we didn't turn it in?
Would you? Could you? Risk everything.
Does it scare you?
For money.
We just gotta get through the next couple hours and then we're home free.
Billy Bob Thornton, Bill Paxton.
Don't move!
We gotta make this look like it was an accident.
Check up! Turn your back!
I wish somebody else had found that money.
A Simple Plan. Tuesday at 8 on Sky Premiere.
Any news? Well, we found some fabric fibres in the boot. Heavy gauge furnishing fabric, some kind of curtain, I'd say. Traces of alkaline clay on the tyres would suggest a lake or a river. And for the seat position, I'd say the driver was 6'2" with short, dark hair.
But do you know what sort of car it is yet?
No.
It's time to phone for the new Eclipse Summer Sun brochure. Hundreds of great holidays from Mallorca to Mexico, personally approved by our customers. With no travel agent's commission to pay, they're great value, and you can book direct from home 7 days a week. So get the free Summer Sun brochure that shows you what customers actually think. Call Eclipse Holidays now on 0870 01 02 034.
One call changed Declan Swan's life for the better. He was hurt in a playground and now he'll always need glasses. His mum Lisa wanted something done, and so did Claims Direct. It takes a team to win a case. Claims Direct has that team.
Winning is about more than money. People want to know they will be heard. Declan's mum wanted to know others might not be hurt, the way her son was. We got her the right solicitor.
You're never certain of winning, but we've handled many cases like this, and we've won. So we got to work.
With Claims Direct's help, Lisa and Declan have put the incident behind them. Declan received over £10,000 compensation. Claims Direct is fighting for 60,000 people hurt in accidents, people like Declan. Claims Direct can't change your past, it could change your future. Call 0800 970 0001 if you need our help. Declan's mum was glad she called.
See how people appreciate open space. See how people prefer light to dark.
Yeah, no, that way.
See how people value the beauty around them.
Smashing. Dad? Yes? Do you want to go the other side of Mum?
See how people like a neighbourly environment, but still enjoy privacy. Before we lay a brick, these are the needs we accommodate.
A convention-defying moment from Kahoot.
Mrs. Grayson, it's your husband. He's got at least 25 years to live.
And here's another convention-defying moment. Kahoot offer up to 7.1% interest on your bank account. Kahoot, the interactive bank.
Excuse me. I'm looking for some help with my pension options. I understand I can find it here.
Looking for an impartial guide to your pension options? Visit our website.
Sorry, mate. You got the wrong kind of web.
It's sale time at ATS Euromaster, which means that some of the lowest prices around are now even lower. Like thousands of tyres reduced. Up to 25% off exhausts. And free brake checks. Call 0800 60 10 60 to find your nearest centre. The ATS Euromaster sale. What drives us is you.
Here's another one of David's little souvenirs, the original crossbar from Elm Park.
Well, all is quiet again at Spotland, but Rochdale have thoroughly enjoyed themselves this afternoon, picking up 3 valuable points against promotion rivals Leyton Orient. 3-1 the final score. And even the most ardent Orient supporter would, I'm sure, concur that the better side won on the day. The one booking, Lee Todd, on his Todd, as far as the cautions are concerned. Action areas in the first half belonged to Rochdale. They had more of the ball. It was a little more even in the second 45, and you must give the visitors credit for being attacking to the very end, but all to no avail. Gary Jones was the man of the match. Dave Flitcroft played his part. Both are now talking to Alan Bentley.
David, first of all, an excellent team performance, I suppose, particularly for the first hour or so.
Yeah, we've passed it around well today, and that, you know, regardless of the cameras here and that's what we've been playing like all season. And the lads just moved the ball brilliant first half, and they couldn't get nowhere near us. Scored a goal which killed them off, you know, the one after the break. And then, you know, they've come at us a little bit the last 25 minutes, but you expect that, you know.
Despite your excellent position in the league, you haven't always had the best record here at home, and you haven't always scored that many goals. What was the difference today?
I don't know. I think we started off well, and the other goal, teams have come and double banked on us and sort of sat there in at the back, and we found it hard to break down. But today we've got an early goal, and they've had to come at us, and because they've come at us, like, you know, it's opened up.
Gary, let's bring you in. I think it was your 8th of the season. A slight deflection. Will you say it was going in anyway?
Yeah, it was a good one too on the edge of the box with me and Toddy. I've just seen the gap in the far post, and I've just tried to kill it in. I think I just took a little deflection, but it's definitely going in anyway. Like,
one thing we must say is that you've got Cardiff coming up, Brighton coming up. You need to keep this going, don't you?
Yeah, we've got 2 massive games coming up. But we got a bit closer to Cardiff and Brighton now after Brighton losing yesterday, and we just got to keep going playing like that. Hopefully we'll get points as we go along.
Is there a real feeling that you can do it this year? You can get out of this division?
Oh, no doubt. Gaffer's come in. He's done wonders like in a year and a half. And you've seen the ground now. It's looking like a second division ground. And yeah, we're pushing all the way.
Well done to both of you. Gary, in fact, is our nationwide man of the match. David, you do the honours?
Different class. All the best, guys.
Cheers, lad.
Cheers, Pop.
Thanks very much.
All right. Cheers, mate.
And Rochdale move up to 4th place thanks to that win. Steve, the likes of Cardiff and Brighton are going to take a real note of that performance, aren't they?
Yes, it was a good professional performance, that, and you can see why they're up there. You know, especially holding the line they did. Defensively sound. Really was a good display.
First time this season that Leyton Orient have lost back-to-back matches in the league. They'll start to get a little nervous as the run-in approaches, I suppose, now.
I think everyone gets a little bit edgy towards the end of the season, Marcus, but they've got to perform better than that. I'm sure Tommy won't be at all pleased with the way his side have even competed in the game. They didn't really even start the match, Leyton Orient, and as Flitcroft was saying there, once they got in front, it was over.
Let's look back at the better moments, which belong almost exclusively to the home side. Quality cross coming up here for the first.
Yeah, but he's moved into that area, Marcus. He's had a little gamble. He's anticipated where the ball's going, and he's off. You can see it probably better from this angle as the ball goes in. There he goes. He's off. No one else reacts on the Orient side. Gets the ball in the danger area.
You talk about the way defensively the sound, but they work hard. They work the socks off for each other, and that's key for me. Them midfield players won the battles today, and certainly won them the game. Again, the anticipation. Look, he reads it well. A little one round the corner, and he picks his spot. Good goal.
Still interested in that deflection, but it's hard to be absolutely sure what might have happened.
Well, he deserves
never worry
it.
about those things. He does. Steve's right. He does deserve that, Marcus. It's a great little 1-2. And he does, he goes for it, and it just comes off the guy's knee.
You could say the keeper maybe would have got it if it hadn't been deflected, but he deserved it for his all-round performance.
Absolutely right. And this was it, 3 minutes into the second half.
Well, you've seen again, they've won the ball. They've won the midfield players closing down. You get a lucky break and they're clean through. Again, cool finish. Game's over then, effectively.
Yeah.
The important thing is once he's played that pass is to keep going. He gets himself in the box because you never know what's going to happen. It comes back off the Bayesian goal and he gets an easy tap in. But his first touch as it comes back is different class.
And look who's next to him. You know, there's 2 or 3 bodies round the ball. So they're all having a sniff at it.
I suppose a number of the Leyton Orient fans had probably gone by the time this happened. But Dean Smith seems to enjoy playing at Rochdale. Scores there for fun year after year, and this was a fantastic finish, wasn't it, Raymond?
It was a good strike, yeah. It looks as if it's his old swinger as well. He just has a stab at it, but it flies past Edwards in goal.
Well, it would have brightened his day up a little bit on the long journey home, but it hasn't done much for the club. Bottom half, no changes, of course. Carlisle, Exeter and York battling it out with the likes of Torquay, Halifax, Darlington and Lincoln still involved in the scramble to avoid going out of the league. Up top, Steve can just check. Yep, Blackpool are still 8th. On the fringes, looking forward to a very exciting climax, and the one change sees Rochdale go above Leyton Orient into 4th place, 47 from 25 play. They've got games in hand on the other teams up there. At the moment, they are 4 points short of the top 3. Let's have a word with the victorious manager. Steve Parkin is now talking to Alan Bentley.
Steve, 60 minutes or so, you couldn't have asked much more, could you, today?
No, not really. I think that, we haven't had a game for a fortnight, and his passing was a little bit slack at times. But the attitude of the boys was first class, and, they really had the bit between the teeth, and I was delighted with the performance.
And for all 3 goals, the team play was excellent, wasn't it? Yeah,
good. I mean, the pitches, the groundsman's work wonders here. The pitch has been really bad over the last couple of seasons, and he's beginning to get it, how we want it, because we want to pass the ball. And the goals were good goals.
Now, for the past 27 years you've been in this division, previously the only way it looked as though you get out of it was downwards. Is this the year you go up?
Everybody would like to think so. Yeah. I think it's very difficult. The teams at the top seem to be getting away a little bit. Hopefully we've closed the gap today. We've got a lot of games in this month where we can close the gap. I think if they show the right attitude like they have done all season, then, we're not going to be far away.
And really key games this month as well, aren't they?
Key games, big games. Cardiff next week, Brighton on the Tuesday night following that. So massive games for the club, really.
Enjoy the month ahead. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much.
Thanks. Alan has a charming way of posing some questions, doesn't he? We're going to take a break now. Let me just tell you that Dean Holdsworth has completed a hat-trick for Bolton against Scunthorpe in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, the 4th round of the FA Cup. Let me get it right. 3-1 at the Reebok Stadium. After the break, we're going to concentrate on yesterday's First Division goals. Birmingham warmed up for their Worthington Cup semi-final second leg in pretty useful style at Fulham.